Speaking of minds, a good football mind in North Jackson, the head football coach of the Jackson Milton Blue Jays, Nate Brode, is joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Coach Brode, congratulations on the victory in Week 1, sir.
Thank you very much. It was a hard-fought game, and we're lucky and glad to come out of there with a win.
Yeah, that was one of those back and forth caliber games. Both teams had the lead during the course of the night, and it was just one of those exciting brands of football. 37-28, the final. You guys putting together a real nice offensive performance against a good Lowellville team.
Yeah, they were extremely physical. They were well coached, under first-year coach Andrew Mamula. Our offensive line kind of dictated the flow of the game against their defensive line and allowed for us to kind of do what we wanted to do in terms of our running game.
Lowellville was a team you lost to last year, 22-14. So, Coach, is the revenge tour officially on in Jackson Milton?
Yeah, it's been almost every other year. The other team wins so far since I've been there 4 years. We lost the first game in 2017. We win 2018, we lose 2019, and we win 2020. So it's been a year of every other between Jackson Milton and Lowellville.
This is year number 4 for you as the head football coach at Jackson Milton. Do you think that the kids are finally coming to the fruition that there's familiarity and they're used to your style of coaching, and more importantly, they're used to the technological terms and all that other stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this year, was just as important, if not more important, than all the other years with COVID-19 and being away from the kids. Just knowing that we're all returning in terms of our staff, and with the staff returning, you have all your terminology and all your seniors and juniors that saw some time as sophomores and juniors. They're all coming back. It was really good to have a returning staff and all our returning seniors and juniors that help in that terminology transition.
Talk about this, your senior leadership and how much it's meant to you, and how much it kind of helped getting through Week 1 and all the uncertainty we had coming up to Week 1 and being able to get a win.
Yeah, we have a great group of seniors. We have 12 seniors, a couple new kids that came out for football their first time, and then I have a couple kids that have been playing since they were 6 years old. They just bought into we are playing. We need to prepare ourselves as if we're playing Week 1, no matter who it's against, no matter what happens. We kind of instilled in these guys to control what you can control. And what we could control was working hard, coming to practice, getting better, knowing our plays, weight training in the weight room, finishing sprints and things like that. And we knew we had to be in the best shape coming into Week 1.
Talk a little bit about your senior running back, Mr. Lengyel. Sean Lengyel, 5'11", $185, ran for 1,784 yards, scored 18 touchdowns on the ground. Solid guy to have back in your offense, Coach.
Yes, yeah, he had a really good game against Lowellville as well. I think he earned WKBN's top play of the week, which is very, very cool for him, his family, our offensive line, our football team. He ran for 151 yards last game and 3 scores. And just having him in the backfield, there's so much that the defense has to account for just with him, let alone our other skill positions that are extremely talented. He takes a lot of focus off of those guys and allows our other guys to make plays. We had a quarterback that got his third start in Frankie Prosey, and he was over a 100-yard rusher against Lowellville as well. He scored 2 times and had a couple 2-point conversions. So Sean is very important to our offensive success, and it kind of showed this past week.
You look ahead to next week. Last season, Waterloo was one of the more exciting games on your schedule. You won 42-40. You've seen the tape, and Waterloo got beat up last week. They're going to be a motivated team. Do we expect another super exciting game this week in Waterloo?
I think so. So just like we talked about Lowellville, how it's been back and forth. Waterloo's been a 1-score game or a 2-score game since I've been there. 32-point game last year. It was a 14-point game the year before, and then we had a pick six to make it a three-touchdown game. But that was still a close game up at their place. And then my first year was 17-13, a 4-point game. So we're expecting a 4-quarter game against Waterloo. I know they're well coached, they're disciplined, and they're big and strong up front. So we know we have our hands full this week.
Jackson Milton head football coach Nate Brode joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Coach, you do have some really good skill position players coming back in this 2020 squad, but the game is won or lost up front. You know it, and everyone that's in football knows it. How did you assess your team's performance on the offensive and defensive lines Friday against Lowellville? And are there encouraging signs for you guys to get in even better as the season goes forward?
Yeah, well, we knew going into just the season itself, we were replacing 4 starters up front on the offensive line and 3 starters on the defensive line. So we knew that was going to be the question mark going into this year. And for the first game, we played well up front. I would say there's a lot of room for improvement. I think our kids competed. I just think that we need to focus a little more on some mental errors that we had. But when you have an all-state left tackle coming back for his senior year, and Logan Pugh, as big and strong as he is, it's great to lean on him and kind of run towards his direction a little bit more often than anyone else.
When you look and reflect on week one, were there any pleasant surprises out of your team? Maybe someone that you didn't expect to do much, do a lot, or maybe someone that really stood out that worked hard in practice. Were there any pleasant surprises out of your team in week one?
Yeah, we had, going in, like I said, with the question marks up front, we had a couple of guys play some defensive line for us that I wasn't certain was going to see a lot of time. We had Jake Gross come in there and play 40-some snaps. He's coming out that was his first varsity game. He's coming out as a junior. Gavin Hutchison is another kid that came out and played some D-line for us. He had about 15 or 18 snaps. Did pretty well for us. But going back to our offensive side of the ball, we had 3 new starters on the offensive line. And we thought that and Mark Martin, our center, Austin Jackson, our right guard, and our right tackle, and Chase Dominic, who also played a little bit for us last year towards the end of the year. We thought they did really well competing up front. They were aggressive and physical. We just got to correct some mental mistakes, some communication errors up front. But I think we're looking pretty good up there now.
Coach, last year you guys jumped out to a 4-0 start, then went into league play and wound up winning 2 of your last 6 or 7 games to finish. Actually, you started out 3-0. My bad. And then you went 2-5 the rest of the way in the league to finish the season at 5-5. I don't like looking ahead. I mean, it's our job, but you got Waterloo, a very winnable game this coming Friday. You've got Sebring, another very winnable game on September 11th. I guess my question is, Coach, if you guys start out 3-0 again this year, are there going to be lessons learned as opposed to last year when you started out fast?
I would hope so. Starting out last year at 3-0, the confidence and the buzz in the school and on practice was very encouraging. And I think that if there's anything to learn from that is that the 3-0 can become 3-5, very quickly, as we found out last year. So I think that just not taking it for granted that the wins are hard to come by no matter who you play in our league and on our schedule. Anything can happen on a Friday night, Saturday night, in our case last week. And we just got to take care of the football and limit the mistakes and just play our brand of Jackson Milton football. And I think they'll take one game at a time, and hopefully we have a different outcome in the middle of the season than last year.
To reflect a little bit more on last year, you started 3-0, then you went 3-5, but you were able to pull together and win those last 2 games. How proud of you were you of your group to kind of pull together after that tough 5-game stretch and win the final 2 games of the season, send the people out on a good note, and really come back out of that hole that you dug yourself into?
Yeah, it was very encouraging. That was a testament to our leadership last year for our seniors and our juniors that played a lot. They didn't want to go out, losing 7 straight games. Nobody wants to do that, and they worked harder in practice than they did prior to that. The coaches coached them up to the best of their ability, and getting that win against Waterloo to get us to 4-5, and then having the opportunity to get a 500 season versus a losing record season was very important to our seniors, our coaches, our underclassmen, and the practice has changed a little bit in terms of expectations and intensity and things like that towards the end of the season that allowed us to get 2 straight victories and end the season at 5-5 record.
Coach, before we let you go, Waterloo doesn't have any stands, and obviously the stands are condemned, so that means there really isn't a place for the coaches to jump up in a press box or in a coach's booth. How do you guys plan to go about doing the adjustments and whatnot? Are you guys going to have like a scaffolding, or you're going to have something where the coaches can be up above the action? Maybe rent a hot air balloon.
We were definitely looking into the hot air balloon. No, I believe. That question has come up in our staff meetings, and we're prepared either way. We're prepared to be up in their booth, which is a couple. Their home side, which is a couple, ways up, 20, 30 feet up, 15 feet up, whatever it is. If we're able to get in there, great. And we're also prepared to have our staff on the sidelines, it's kind of a different atmosphere. But we practice both, and we've talked about both scenarios. But I think we'll be okay getting into the stands, from what I understand, on the home side.
Before you go, I just want to give you the opportunity to shine a light on your coaching staff. I know you've talked about them a couple times, and just talk about how much support they give you. It takes a village to build the program, and talk about your staff and the guys you have working with you.
Yeah, so I have my uncle and my defensive coordinator that he always says he was there when I was born. He's my defensive coordinator, Tom Chicolillo. He's been coaching football in this area, Southeast, Girard, Liberty for over 40 years. I was actually just recognized down in Columbus at the Ohio High School Football Coach Association Clinic for the Under Armour down there back in March. He's calling the defense for me, coaches, running backs. Coach French, Mike French, is our offensive linebacker coach. He's been there a long time. He's got about 20 years under his belt coaching. And we have Mike Zayas, who's been this will be his 3rd year coaching with me. He's coaching the D-line as well as the tight ends and helps Coach French with the offensive line. He's coming up here. He's been up here for 3 years, but he was coaching at the Pee-wees for a few years and they had a lot of success down there as well. And Coach Halvick, he's our new coach, Tyler Halvick. He's also a staff member in the building, and he's done a great job in his first year at Jackson Milton, coaching the wide receivers and the defensive backs.
Hey, Coach, best of luck to you on Friday in Waterloo, and we look forward to possibly seeing Jackson Milton at 2-0 when we convene Friday nights and on our program on YSN.
That's our goal as well. So I hope that happens. Yes.
All right, Coach. All the best to you, sir.